It's Thursday, April 3rd, 2025. This is CBS News Mornings. Breaking overnight, tornado outbreak. Violent storms tear a destructive path across the nation's heartland. Now the big concern, once-in-a-lifetime flooding. Trump's escalating trade war. The president unleashing expansive tariffs against nearly 200 countries. America's allies and rivals across the world vowing retaliation. And air safety. Big changes are coming to Washington's Reagan National Airport in the wake of several recent incidents, including January's deadly mid-air collision. Good morning, I'm Michael George. We start with the breaking news on the storms. At least one person is dead after tornadoes and severe weather tore through the South and Midwest. Several tornadoes touched down in Arkansas, where the highest possible alert was issued, a rare tornado emergency. Authorities say there's damage in more than 20 counties due to tornadoes, powerful winds, hail, and flash flooding. Several people were hurt, and at least one person died in Missouri, where buildings were damaged and vehicles overturned. A tornado in the Tulsa, Oklahoma suburb of Owasso ripped apart homes and knocked down power lines and trees. Injuries were reported in several states, and there were reports of a warehouse collapsing outside Indianapolis, temporarily trapping at least one person inside. And more than 400,000 people lost power, stretching from northern Michigan down to the Gulf Coast. Over the coming days, the forecast calls for the risk of potentially deadly flash flooding in the South and Midwest through Saturday as severe thunderstorms push eastward and become supercharged. Well, stock futures are plummeting, and there's shock and disappointment around the world this morning after President Trump drastically escalated and expanded his trade war. The president announced he's placing a 10% tariff on imports from nearly every nation on the planet except Russia and North Korea. He's even putting tariffs on remote islands with more penguins than people. 90 countries will get hit even harder with what the president calls reciprocal tariffs. But economists say it's Americans who will end up paying the price in the form of more expensive imported goods like electronics, cars, wine, and clothing. CBS's Jared Hill joins us now to break this all down for us. Jared, this started out as a trade war between the U.S. and Canada and Mexico. Now it's the U.S. versus the entire world.
And, Michael, this is sort of telegraphed that it would be much wider than those countries to begin with. What we're seeing here, though, are Asian and European markets sliding this morning. Same with U.S. market futures following President Trump's announcement of these wide-ranging tariffs, the likes of which we haven't seen since the 1930s. The White House says they're not worried about that, saying that the tariffs will boost U.S. manufacturing. Today, countries around the world are threatening to retaliate after President Donald Trump laid out his long-awaited tariffs.
It's our declaration of economic independence.
The plan, a 10% tax on nearly all goods brought into the U.S. starting April 5th. On April 9th, additional reciprocal tariffs on more than 60 countries President Trump dubbed the worst offenders. That's 34% on China, 20% for the European Union, likely meaning Americans pay higher prices for electronics, clothing, construction equipment. Canada and Mexico are exempt, instead facing tariffs linked to fighting the flow of undocumented immigrants and illegal drugs. All of this as the president's 25% tariffs on foreign cars and auto parts kicked in overnight.
If you want your tariff rate to be zero, then you build your product right here in America.
Impacted countries are calling on the U.S. to reconsider.
We're now preparing for further countermeasures to protect our interests and our businesses if negotiations fail.
Many American small businesses are also bracing for impact.
We're looking at a huge increase in costs that we will have to figure out how to absorb.
On Capitol Hill, criticism from both sides.
These tariffs are a disaster for the average American family.
I don't think it's going to be good for us politically, but it's not good for the country either.
Kentucky's Rand Paul, one of 4 Senate Republicans to join Democrats in backing a long-shot bill to undo tariffs against Canada. No, that bill is pretty much symbolic and doesn't really have much of a chance at passing. So what does all of this mean for prices? How much are they going to go up? How quickly will they go up? It's really going to depend on what someone is buying and when they're buying it, Michael. What we have seen, though, are some companies and industries trying to figure out if they can absorb some of these price increases that are expected. But as you were mentioning there, it is very likely, and the Trump administration is admitting this as well, that Americans are going to pay more for stuff in the near future.
Which is the exact opposite of what a lot of Americans voted for him for. So we'll keep an eye on it. Thanks, Jared Hill. Well, now for the world reaction. Many were measured. World leaders are trying to figure a way out, whether it's fighting back or negotiating. We have two reports. Elizabeth Palmer is in London. But first, Jason Allen in Laredo, Texas, where companies were already moving goods in from Mexico ahead of the price hikes they were expecting.
This looks different from when we were here last.
Totally different. So last time you were here, they hadn't started running for the border yet.
We first walked through Rick Laurel's warehouse in February. Since then, companies have filled his building and others in Laredo, Texas, with car parts, cosmetics, construction equipment, and other products from Mexico.
Is some of that reaction based on what we saw happen when tariffs were in place for a couple of days?
I have a customer that paid $98,000 extra those 2 days.
So that's $98,000 for 2 days that customer is probably going to have to try to pass on to his customers.
Yeah, they're in a predicament.
Mexico is the United States' top trading partner, with more than $800 billion worth of goods traded back and forth in 2023.
We just want to convey the amount of stress that we're under.
We were inside a meeting Wednesday between U.S. Customs and Border Protection and importers who were pushing for guidance on how to handle new charges.
Is that what you think companies are going to be figuring out over the next few days, is who takes the biggest hit?
I don't think one person is just going to take the hit. I think it's universal. The whole supply chain at one way or another does get hit.
Inside Librado Pina's 38-degree cold storage warehouse, avocados and mangoes are stacked to the ceiling.
Or do you think there's still going to be questions about, is this the end? Does it all change again in a few days or a few weeks or another month?
Everybody's looking for stability right now. I don't think people care, is it 5%, is it 10%? I just want it to be, it is what it is, it's stable, so we can plan accordingly, and at the end of the day, it comes down to cost.
I'm Elizabeth Palmer in London. The European Union sells the U.S. everything from German cars to Swiss watches and Italian cheese. And even before President Trump's announcement, it was already talking tough.
Europe has not started this confrontation. We do not necessarily want to retaliate. But if it is necessary, we have a strong plan to retaliate, and we will use it.
That's a threat. To impose counter tariffs on U.S. products coming into Europe, which would make them more expensive and damage sales. But the danger is that tit-for-tat tariffs escalate and hurt everyone. So in the UK, at least, Prime Minister Keir Starmer was pulling his punches.
A trade war is in nobody's interest. We will take a calm, pragmatic approach.
That approach is to hope for private talks with President Trump, leading to a sweetheart deal for the UK when the dust settles. Among the Asian powerhouses, the tariff threat has made old U.S. allies like Japan and South Korea look to America's great rival, China. These ministers were discussing how to sell more to each other in case tariffs shut them out of the U.S. market. India was braced, too, fearing for its pharmaceutical industry. Generic medicines currently account for 9 out of 10 prescriptions in the United States, and half come from India. These tariffs could leave Americans paying a lot more for their drugs. Elizabeth Palmer, CBS News, London.
And CBS News is closely following the rising cost of products affected by American tariffs. You can check out our price tracker at cbsnews.com/tariffs. Air traffic controllers at Washington's Ronald Reagan National Airport are getting some help after January's deadly mid-air collision between a passenger jet and an Army helicopter. The controllers will be offered crisis counseling and additional supervision in the wake of the accident and other incidents. That includes last week's close call between a Delta plane and Air Force jets and a fight between air traffic controllers. The FAA says it's also evaluating whether the arrival rate of aircraft is too high. And passengers on board an American Airlines regional flight in Georgia had to evacuate after there was smoke in the cabin. Video shows people climbing onto the wing Tuesday after the flight from Charlotte landed in Augusta. Passengers say they were taxiing to the terminal when they saw smoke, and the captain told everyone to evacuate now. Thankfully, no one was hurt. American says the plane experienced a maintenance issue. And coming up, buying TikTok. A popular online retail giant could step in to save the social media platform. And bird-brained robbery. Police track down a suspect in an unusual theft.
Asthma. Does it have you missing out on what you love with who you love? Get back to better breathing with Fasenra, an add-on treatment for eosinophilic asthma taken once every 8 weeks. Fasenra is not for sudden breathing problems. Serious allergic reactions may occur. Get help for swelling of your face, mouth, tongue, or trouble breathing. Don't stop your asthma treatments without talking with your doctor. Tell your doctor if your asthma worsens or you have a parasitic infection. Headache and sore throat may occur. Ask your doctor if Fasenra is right for you.
Time to press rewind with Neutrogena Rapid Wrinkle Repair. It has derm-proven retinol expertly formulated to target skin cell turnover and fight not 1 but 5 signs of aging.
With visible results in just 1 week.
Neutrogena.
When my hair started to thin, I wasn't feeling so confident.
I stopped hanging out with the guys because I didn't want to hear the wisecracks.
I started taking Nutrafol because I had seen that it worked with my friend.
Nutrafol really takes the time to do the research, to do the clinical studies, and I really respect how it works from the inside out.
Nutrafol was able to bring my hair back to life, and it keeps getting thicker and fuller.
Oh! It felt real good to ditch the hat.
Hair growth starts from the inside at Nutrafol.com.
At TJ Maxx, you can afford to turn your closet into a place of endless expression. With the quality, styles, and prices you love. Max what makes you, you.
For the acute treatment of migraine with or without aura in adults, Nurtec ODT can provide relief in 2 hours, which can last up to 2 days. Don't take if allergic to Nurtec ODT. Allergic reactions can occur even days after use, like trouble breathing and rash. Get help if you have trouble breathing, swelling of the face, mouth, tongue, or throat. Common side effect is nausea. Ask your doctor about Nurtec ODT.
Stand up. Show me your hands. That's fine. Just hold your chicken. I'm not going to hurt your chicken.
Well, talk about ruffling some feathers. Police body cam video shows officers trying to arrest a man accused of stealing his ex-girlfriend's chicken. Police in Washington state say the suspect violated an order of protection to break into his former girlfriend's house to steal the bird. He's now facing burglary charges. Well, the Supreme Court hears Planned Parenthood's case in South Carolina and a legal victory for the mayor of New York City. Those are some of the headlines on the morning newsstand. The New York Times says a federal judge dismissed the corruption case against New York City Mayor Eric Adams. The judge granted the Justice Department's request to drop criminal charges so that Adams can help with President Trump's immigration crackdown. The judge dismissed the case with prejudice. That means that prosecutors can't bring the case back after this year's mayoral election. Adams, who pleaded not guilty to bribery and other charges, says he's running for a second term. The Tennessean says Nashville police closed the investigation into a deadly elementary school shooting, saying the shooter was motivated by notoriety. Former student Audrey Hale killed 3 adults and 3 children at the Covenant School in 2023. She was shot and killed by police. Investigators say they were able to determine the shooter's motive based on journals left in Hale's car. They say Hale planned the shooting for years and wanted books and movies to be made about the attack. And CNN says conservative Supreme Court justices appear open to siding with Planned Parenthood in a fight over South Carolina's funding cut. Supporters and opponents of Planned Parenthood protested outside the Supreme Court yesterday as justices heard arguments about South Carolina's decision to pull the organization's Medicaid funding because it provides abortions. Now, federal law already prohibits Medicaid from paying for most abortions. If the Supreme Court sides with South Carolina, it could impact patients' abilities to obtain other services, including contraception and pregnancy testing across the country. And coming up ahead, a stone's throw away, how a little girl discovered treasure thousands of years old.
At Wayfair, we're game for every style.
Let's play charades. I'll act out my favorite chair. Got it. All right, ready?
Yep.
This one rocking chair.
Velvet Tufted Chaise Lounger.
This is charades. Loungers are off limits.
Well, there's no rule about adding it to my cart.
It's a great deal.
It's Barrel Swivel Chair!
Yes!
Boom!
Wow. Not my first chair aids.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
For years, one supplement claimed it improved memory. But the truth, it can't support those claims. Choose Nariva Plus, which supports 6 brain health indicators, including memory, with clinically tested ingredients. It's time to switch to Nariva.
Burger King has a deal for all. $5 duo answers hunger's call. $7 trio, more options for y'all. Which one will you choose? At BK, have it your way.
With Stamps.com, you can print stamps and shipping labels. Whenever, wherever. Get the flexibility you need to run your business. Start your risk-free trial today at Stamps.com.
Struggling with moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis? Talk to your doctor about #1 prescribed Entyvio, offering 2 maintenance options, including the Entyvio pen. Infusion and serious allergic reactions can happen during or after treatment. Entyvio may increase risk of infection, which can be serious. PML, a rare, potentially fatal brain infection, cannot be ruled out. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, sores, or are prone to infections. Liver problems can occur. Entyvio, relief, remission for real.
Entyvio, Entyvio, Entyvio.
Here's a look at today's forecast in some cities around the country. Well, listen to this. A 3-year-old girl made quite the discovery while on vacation with her family in Israel. The toddler was walking along a path at an archaeological site about 25 miles west of Jerusalem last month when she picked up what turned out to be a 3,800-year-old scarab amulet shaped like a beetle. The family brought it to the attention of the Israeli Antiquities Authority. An expert verified it belonged to the Canaanites from the Middle Bronze Age. Scarab beetles held sacred status in ancient Egypt, symbolizing new life. Well, Tesla is in a slump, and there's a potential new buyer for TikTok. Here's Jesse Mitchell with today's Money Watch.
Wall Street appears to be headed for big losses today after President Trump's tariff announcement. While yesterday ended in the green, the Dow gained 235 points. The Nasdaq added 151. S&P grew 37 points. Amazon is now among the contenders to buy TikTok's American operations ahead of a nationwide ban of the social media app this Saturday. A Trump administration source says Amazon sent a letter to Vice President J.D. Vance and Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick expressing interest in the Chinese-owned company. Oracle and investment firm Blackstone are also in the running to take over TikTok. Elon Musk may be stepping back from his work for the federal government as Tesla's trajectory continues to tumble. The automaker reported a 13% slump in sales for the first quarter. Tesla cars, showrooms, and repair centers have become targets for protesters angry over Musk's actions with the Department of Government Efficiency. Tesla's stock has dropped almost 50% since December. And Tony's Chocolonely is recalling some of its dark almond, sea salt, and everything bars because they may contain small stones. They were distributed nationwide in February and March. The company received 12 complaints about the chocolate from consumers in other countries. That's your CBS Money Watch report for this Thursday morning. I'm Jesse Mitchell, CBS News, New York.
And up next, a return to Oz. Why the stars of the hit movie Wicked reunited on stage.
What's this?
That's for Pepper.
You keep dog food in your fridge?
It's not dog food, it's fresh pet. Real meat, real veggies.
It's dog food.
Fresh Pet. It's not dog food, it's food.
Listening to people that drink Bigelow tea is so important to my family because making that perfect cup, it's the reason we do what we do. Hi, guys. Hey. So what are you guys drinking?
Constant comment. When I'm drinking Bigelow tea, it's just a moment for me. It's just me time.
That's what a cup of tea is. A moment for you, someone you love.
Oh, it tastes really great.
Yes, it was always Bigelow tea.
Wow, that's what my family hopes for. Cheers.
Cheers.
The dentist will be right in.
Hey, I heard you're retiring soon. You excited?
Yeah, Doc, but there's so much to consider. Medicare, finances. Oh, and I lose my dental insurance.
You can get your own from Physicians Mutual. Easiest decision ever. It's real dental insurance that's real affordable. Well, I think my work here is done.
Wait, what?
Hey, I heard you're retiring soon. You excited?
Get the Premier Dental Plan from Physicians Mutual Insurance Company, one of the easiest retirement decisions you can make. For a free information kit, call now. It helps cover over 400 procedures, everything from cleanings and fillings to crowns and dentures. See any dentist you want with no deductibles and no annual maximum.
Well, I think my work here is done.
Wait, what?
The Premier Plan from Physicians Mutual. Call or visit sendinfokit.com for all the details.
Physicians Mutual, Physicians Mutual.
Here's a look at today's forecast in some cities around the country. Well, The Boss is releasing his latest project called Tracks 2, The Lost Albums. Bruce Springsteen announcing this release yesterday morning, but giving no other details. This comes after the first volume of Tracks was released in 1998. That was a 4-CD set with a 66-song collection of unreleased material. And producers unveiled the first sneak peek of Wicked for Good, the second part of the movie adaptation of the iconic Broadway musical. Stars Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo were on hand to introduce the new clips in Las Vegas. The second film sees Dorothy join the cast. Wicked for Good is set to hit theaters November 21st. That's almost a year to the day after Wicked first flew into cinemas around the world. And coming up on CBS Mornings, former NASA rocket scientist Aisha Bowe will be live in the studio to talk about being Gayle King's crewmate on their upcoming space flights.
Want a next level clean? Swish with the Whoa of Listerine. It kills 99.9% of bad breath germs for 5 times more cleaning power than brushing and flossing alone. Get a next level clean with Listerine. Feel the Whoa.
Forgot to moisturize? No, you didn't. Introducing our first ever body wash for 24-hour lotion soft skin straight from the shower with millions of micro moisture droplets. Try new Dove body wash.
Upset stomach? Iberogast. Indigestion? Iberogast. Bloating? Iberogast. Thanks to a unique combination of herbs, Iberogast helps relieve 6 digestive symptoms to help you feel better. 6 digestive symptoms, the power of nature. Iberogast.
For years, one supplement claimed it improved memory. But the truth, it can't support those claims. Choose Nariva Plus, which supports 6 brain health indicators, including memory, with clinically tested ingredients. It's time to switch to Nariva.
There are days I feel stuck in my head. Even on an antidepressant, lingering depression symptoms can make it hard to break through. I wanted more from my antidepressant. I asked about Vraylar. Adding Vraylar to an antidepressant significantly reduces overall depression symptoms better than an antidepressant alone.
Vraylar isn't approved for elderly patients with dementia-related psychosis due to increased risk of death or stroke. Report changes in behavior or suicidal thoughts to your doctor. Antidepressants can increase these in children and young adults. Report fever, stiff muscles or confusion which may be life-threatening, or uncontrolled muscle movements which may be permanent. High blood sugar which can lead to coma or death. Weight gain and high cholesterol may occur. Difficulty moving, tremors, slow or uncontrolled body movements, restlessness and feeling like you need to move, nausea, constipation, insomnia, dizziness, increased appetite, and fatigue are common. Side effects may not appear for weeks.
Vraylar, breaking through to relief. Ask about Vraylar.
Our top stories this morning: at least one person is dead after tornadoes and violent storms tore through the South and Midwest. Several tornadoes touched down in Arkansas, where the highest possible alert was issued, a rare tornado emergency. Authorities said there was damage in more than 20 counties. At least one person died in Missouri, and multiple injuries were reported across the country. And global stock markets tumbled this morning after President Trump announced sweeping new tariffs on imports to the U.S. from nearly every nation starting Saturday. It calls for a minimum 10% tariff and higher reciprocal tariffs on more than 90 nations. That includes 20% for the European Union and 34% on Chinese goods. Economists say prices for Americans will rise. Trump says it'll bring manufacturing jobs back to America. And finally this morning, spring is now here. And as the flowers bloom, it's a reminder that plants are adapting to a changing planet. The EPA says leaf and bloom events are happening earlier in the year across much of the country. CBS's Bradley Blackburn has more on how plants and gardeners are adjusting.
The Philadelphia Flower Show has displayed the wonders of Mother Nature for nearly 200 years. With Blue Ribbon Awards for plants in every size, shape, and color, it's the largest and oldest flower show in the world. And this year, the massive displays imagine gardens of the future that will be shaped by a warming planet.
Gardeners observe how the environment changes almost before anybody else.
With warmer global temperatures, the growing season is getting longer by more than 2 weeks compared to the early 20th century. But it's not necessarily good for plants.
Really overwhelming for most species to try to adapt to and keep up with.
Eve Bowery with the New York Botanical Garden says it's already fueling harmful invasive plants.
We're starting to see with climate change more of a turnover from native diverse ecosystems to sort of monocultures of invasive species.
One recent report found 45% of the world's flowering plants are at risk of extinction.
But home gardeners can help by planting native species and protecting them.
Gardening, I think of as a superpower that lets you actually shape the environment. We talk about the idea of choosing your plants with intention and thinking about your garden as part of an ecosystem.
Science has a role too. Students at the University of Delaware showing how plants can go from lab to trial garden.
Seeing what works best where.
To test what will survive in new conditions.
With this kind of testing, you can adapt and change plants to be more humid and more heat tolerant.
Generations who may help generate plants that will grow into the future. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, Philadelphia.
And coming up on CBS Mornings, former NASA rocket scientist and entrepreneur Aisha Bowe will be live in the studio to talk about heading to space with Gayle King this month. Plus, comedian Matteo Lane tells us about his new cookbook called Your Pasta Sucks and his new stand-up special. And award-winning journalist Deborah Norville discusses why she's leaving Inside Edition after 30 years. And that's CBS News Mornings for this Thursday. I'm Michael George. Have a great day.
This week, guess what? We've got stars of screen and sports from Ghost, Roman Zaragoza, legendary athletes Sue Bird and Megan Rapinoe, and Inside Edition's Deborah Norville on CBS Mornings this week. We'll see you at 7 o'clock straight up.
The all-new CBS Evening News, every weeknight.
At Paul's, our goal is to ensure your home or business is safe and comfortable. We provide the highest quality HVAC services at affordable prices. Paul's Heating and Air Conditioning. Same family, same values, same company since 1957.
For over 40 years, Concourse Body Shop has been Reno's trusted name for collision repair. Concourse works for you, not the insurance companies. Locally owned and operated, Concourse restores confidence with OEM certifications from multiple manufacturers, following factory repair procedures to maintain your car's value, performance, and most importantly, your safety. Concourse Body Shop, where quality meets integrity. It's your car, it's your choice. Choose Concourse.
Don't gamble on the wrong personal injury attorneys.
Place your bets.
Hey, pick me.
I always win. I know Nevada law. I'm from here. I'm just like you. Nope, wrong firm.
Don't gamble with your case. Bet on Benson and Bingham.
2 News Nevada. Local coverage you can count on.
From KTVN, this is 2 News Nevada, Morning Edition.
President Donald Trump has unveiled his new tariff policy against the world, how other countries are responding.
And law enforcement are warning people about a new scam. How it works and what to watch out for is straight ahead.
Majority of today will be dry, but still can't rule out a stray shower, and it still will be chilly too. On the details coming up.
Good Thursday morning, and thank you for starting your day with us. I'm Kyle Louder.
And I'm Faith Justice. So glad to be with you. Starting with coverage of President Donald Trump's first 100 days in office. The president branded April 2nd as what he called Liberation Day.
So yesterday afternoon, Trump signed his sweeping tariff plan, escalating what many analysts are calling a global trade war. Cheryl Hubbard has the details.
President Trump unveiling his new tariff policy to the world Wednesday.
The day that we began to make America wealthy again.
On what Trump named Liberation Day, he announced sweeping new tariffs in the White House Rose Garden.
This is one of the most important days, in my opinion, in American history. It's our declaration of economic independence.
Aiming to redraw economic agreements with U.S. trading partners, Trump announced tariffs of at least 10% on practically all goods coming into the U.S., with even higher rates for 60 countries that have the highest trade deficits with the U.S.
Reciprocal tariffs on countries throughout the world. Reciprocal, that means they do it to us and we do it to them.
Trump has already imposed 25% tariffs on all steel and aluminum imports. A 25% tariff on foreign-made cars is set to go in effect midnight Thursday, and a 25% tariff on foreign auto parts no later than early May. Democratic lawmakers slammed the new tariffs even before they were officially announced.
At the end of the day, what we will see are costs go up for everyday consumers, energy costs, smartphones, cars. We will experience this, and largely on the backs of working class people who are just trying to get by.
I'm Cheryl Hubbard reporting.
And stocks plunged in after-hours trading following the announcement. While U.S. trade partners, including the European Union, Mexico, Canada, China, Japan, and South Korea, have pledged to retaliate.
All right, we'll keep you posted on this. But in the meantime, we got to check in with Angela Schilling now, our meteorologist. Good morning, Angela.
Yeah, good morning. Still need to watch out a little bit this morning. We got a quick little burst of rain or snow overnight,
really?
right? And so in some spots, I mean, there could be just a little bit of some ice, but for the most part, I think today will be much better. Still be chilly though today. Yesterday, the temperature dial set on cold. Now it's a little bit warmer. It's up to chilly. Today will be into the 50s, and each day will get a little bit warmer, but it's going to be a gradual warming trend, but we'll see more sunshine today, especially by this afternoon. 31 degrees at 8 a.m. Mostly cloudy skies to start. Partly cloudy by lunchtime with temperatures in the lower 40s, and by the time you drive home, highs will be around 50 degrees with more sunshine at that point. Majority of the Truckee Meadows roadways are dry, but up in the Sierras still have a little bit of some snow and ice, but much better than it has been. And overall, our radar is quiet. Again, yesterday evening, some of us in Reno did get a quick little burst of rain or snow, so just watch out for a little bit of some ice on the roadways. It's not everywhere, it's not a lot, but it is possible that you can run into some ice this morning. On our satellite, we do have some clouds, but they're very low-level clouds, so it's hard to pick out here on our satellite, but we do still have some cloud cover out there, and we still have a dip in the jet stream. This ridge of high pressure is still off in the ocean, and it's that ridge that will really allow temperatures to warm. but it's going to take at least a few days before it gets here. So gradual warming trend. It is cold this morning, 33 degrees in Reno, 28 in Carson City, 19 in Minden and Gardnerville, with thankfully not a ton of wind out there. So today, overall not terrible. The system is slowly exiting here. We still have a dip in the jet stream that provides us with a lot of cold air. So even though it'll be warmer today, still below average, and can't rule out a stray shower or two, but most of us will stay dry. I'll have a full look at your forecast coming up here in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Angela. We have new details here on a death at Kirkwood Resort that happened over the weekend. The Alpine County Sheriff's Office has identified the man who died as Roman Lacayo of Corona, California. They say he died after suffering major head injuries from a snowboarding accident on Saturday. The ski resort says it happened near Chair 4. Lacayo was hospitalized, but he passed away.
Over in Crime Beat, the Reno Police Department is warning the community about a scam on social media. You might see posts about a missing police officer, but they're not real. RPD says it's a hoax going around the country.
The biggest theme with all of these is it tries to pull on our heartstrings to make us feel bad for something and then want to help because we really want to help others, and by doing that donation or at least getting that conversation going.
The posts usually contain this photo of a real officer who works in Montana, but she's not actually missing. Chris Johnson says the scammer eventually updates the original post to include a link asking for donations so that they can steal money from those who fall victim.
Also in Crime Beat here, 2 people have been arrested after allegedly being found with drugs and several stolen credit cards. Sparks police say on Tuesday afternoon they responded to the Galleria Shopping Center on a report that people were stealing from a store. Officers identified Daniel Perez and Michelle Perez as the suspects. They have been arrested and are facing multiple charges.
The Carson City Sheriff's Office is asking for help finding people who allegedly stole from a store. Deputies say yesterday the people on your screen right here stole several items from the Sportsman's Warehouse on South Carson Street. One suspect was last seen wearing a gray jacket, a white shirt, blue jeans, and white shoes. The other was last seen wearing a gray beanie, a brown puffer jacket, black pants, black shoes, and a light brown backpack. If you recognize these people or have any information, please call the Sheriff's Office at 775-887-2020, or you can leave your tip anonymously with Secret Witness at 775-322-4900.
And speaking of Secret Witness, they're offering a $500 reward for information leading to the arrest of someone that allegedly stole a wallet from Walmart in Carson City. Now, the Carson City Sheriff's Office says it happened on March 1st, and the suspect was last seen wearing a black Beautiful Disaster sweatshirt with dark blue jeans and black high-top Vans shoes. So if you have any information, please call Secret Witness 775-322-4900.
Nye County deputies have seized 7 tigers from an exotic animal owner in Pahrump. The Sheriff's Office says the owner, Carl Mitchell, was already in custody on suspicion of fighting a Nye County deputy. He also allegedly owned a gun illegally. Law enforcement had previously cited Mitchell multiple times for allegedly violating basic animal care standards. There's no official word on what will happen to the tigers that were seized.
Well, let's get them to a good home. All right, still to come on 2 News Nevada this morning.
Doctors are seeing more people getting sick as the seasons change. The illnesses they're seeing most right now, coming up.
Selling manufactured and mobile homes and parks is our specialty. Call Silver State Homes.
It's time to say not so fast chronic kidney disease. Because with a progressive disease like CKD, slow is good. And believe me, I know all about slow. That's why I'm here to tell you about Jardiance. It's a little pill proven to slow the progression of CKD and reduce the risk of kidney failure, which can lead to dialysis.
Serious side effects include increased ketones in blood or urine, which can be fatal. Stop Jardiance and call your doctor right away if you have nausea, vomiting, stomach pain, tiredness, trouble breathing, or increased ketones. Jardiance may cause dehydration that can suddenly worsen kidney function and make you feel dizzy, lightheaded, or weak upon standing. Genital yeast infections in men and women, urinary tract infections, low blood sugar, or a rare life-threatening bacterial infection between and around the anus and genitals can occur. Call your doctor right away if you have fever or feel weak or tired and pain, tenderness, swelling, or redness in the genital area. Don't use if allergic to Jardiance. Stop use if you have a serious allergic reaction. Call your doctor if you have rash, swelling, difficulty breathing, or swallowing. You may have increased risk for lower limb loss. Call your doctor right away if you have new pain or tenderness, sores, ulcers, or infection in your legs or feet.
So go on, say not so fast, CKD. Ask your doctor about Jardiance for chronic kidney disease.
Jeff here for Dryer Vent Wizard of Northern Nevada. At Dryer Vent Wizard, all we do is inspect, repair, and clean dryer vents. We don't prune bushes or fix faucets. And I don't do ironing. Ow! What we do is clean and repair dryer vents. We don't repair garage doors, and we don't pick up junk. What we do is clean and repair dryer vents. If you need your dryer vent serviced, call Dryer Vent Wizard, because it's all we do.
Gives it to Jenkins for the championship. A 16 beats a 1 from sweet to elite to the Final Four.
Think you need a new roof? Think again. Save thousands with RoofMax.
Welcome back. Spring is here, and as the flowers start to bloom, it's a reminder that plants are adapting to a changing planet. The EPA says leaf and bloom events are happening earlier in the year across much of the country. With warmer global temperatures, the growing season is more than 2 weeks longer than it was in the early 20th century, but it's not necessarily good for plants. Eve Bowery with the New York Botanic Garden says it's already fueling harmful invasive plants.
Climate change, more of a turnover from native diverse ecosystems to sort of monocultures of invasive species.
One recent report from the Royal Botanic Gardens found that 45% of the world's flowering plants are at risk of extinction. But home gardeners can help by planting native species and protecting them.
And in our What's Going Around coverage, while many people are probably suffering from allergies in the spring blooms, others are fully getting sick. Just clearing my throat, I promise. Michaela Hardy shares what illnesses doctors at St. Mary's Regional Medical Center are seeing the most of right now.
We're seeing lots of flu this year, actually coming in waves. They come in and then patients get better and then another wave will start again.
Chief Medical Officer Dr. Rika Danko says they're seeing upper respiratory infections causing symptoms like runny nose, watery eyes, sore throat, fevers, chills, and difficulty breathing. Some of these symptoms people may be mistakenly writing off as allergies, especially during this time of year.
So if the symptoms are progressing, it doesn't feel like you're able to get a grip on those symptoms at home, it's better to be evaluated, find out what's going on, and see if there's something we need to do to help the body at that point.
Regardless of all the hospitalizations St. Mary's Regional Medical Center is seeing, Northern Nevada Public Health's most recent report from March 16th through the 22nd shows respiratory illnesses are going down. Flu activity has decreased by 3.8% from the previous week. COVID cases have decreased by 13.2%. and RSV by 15%. Renown Health's Dr. Thomas Melichek says they're actually seeing more patients suffering from allergies and shingles than any other illness. However, he says shingles is not a seasonal illness. There just happens to be a cluster of people getting it right now.
Shingles is contagious by definition. The people at risk are really pregnant women who've obviously never had and someone who's never had chickenpox. Those are the ones that could be a problem. Most healthy non-compromised people won't have an issue with somebody else having shingles.
And as for allergies, Dr. Melichek says the biggest cause is spring blooms and recent weather changes. He tells us it's best to take preventative measures now before it starts to warm again right after a recent snowstorm.
Allergy prevention is simple. Start taking your Claritin or Allegra Zyrtec today. And I encourage people to take it for a month or two because you never know how long the season lasts. It could snow in June, it could be 80 degrees tomorrow, we don't know.
Covering the story, Michaela Hardy, 2 News Nevada.
Both doctors do recommend doing the basic measures to prevent getting sick, such as washing your hands, cleaning common surfaces like doorknobs and keyboards, and keeping a distance from those who are sick.
And happening today, Community Health Alliance is hosting a mobile dental clinic. It's for patients up to 20 years old. Services include oral exams, x-rays, and dental cleanings. It'll be from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Community Health Alliance's Neil J. Redfield Health Center in Sun Valley. Appointments are encouraged, but walk-ins are also welcome.
And happening next week, the Sparks Police Department is hosting a blood drive. It's part of the Silver State Heroes Challenge. It's going to be on Monday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. inside the police department's building on East Prater Way. So if you'd like to schedule an appointment, you can call Vitalant. Their number is there on your screen, 775-329-6451.
And still to come on 2 News Nevada this morning.
The UNLV softball team came to town to face off with Nevada in a doubleheader. We have the results of those games coming right up.
And it still will be cold today with highs below average, but more sunshine as the day goes on. All the details coming up.
Advanced Imaging Reno. Need an MRI? Skip the line.
Join us for Redefining Retirement this Sunday at 5:30. We'll share a dangerous 10-year period of retirement, why it should matter to you, and tips on how to help successfully navigate its traps and pitfalls. I'll see you this Sunday and every Sunday at 5:30 for Redefining Retirement.
I'm Chuck Cordova, and I'm a dentist here at Affordable Dentures and Implants Reno. I like to think that the patient experience here is unique in that the way we will take care of you. What we provide here is teeth replacement, from single tooth implant tooth replacement to full arch replacement solutions with regular dentures, with removable implant supported dentures, or with fixed dentures, the all-in-one solution. They walk in afraid to smile, self-conscious, uncomfortable, and when they leave, we fix that for them at Affordable Dentures and Implants Reno.
Circle of Life Hospice Foundation is honored to hold our annual gala on April 11th. Join us to hear stories of those we've served and the impact we're making at the No Cost Guest House. To learn more and purchase your tickets, visit colhospice.com.
Most of my issues was I lived a double life. One of my lowest moments in my life was the night I got arrested. I had been drinking, taking some pills. I was running in a direction that was so dark. That's when I hit that turning point. I live a sober life now. Today, my faith is everything. There are two paths you can take in life. Thanks be to God that I'm running in the opposite direction now. I'm running towards Him.
A personal injury team that is honest, aggressive, and compassionate. That's what you get when you work with Matt Dion and Associates. We've helped thousands of local clients get the compensation they deserve after an accident, because honest, aggressive, and compassionate is not just our tagline, they're our core values. Work with a personal injury attorney who won't let your settlement be as devastating as your accident. Matt Dion and Associates, honest, aggressive, compassionate. Schedule your free consultation today.
Welcome back. Nevada Wolfpack softball came out on top in a pair of tight contests against in-state rival UNLV. Game 1 was dominated by senior Aaliyah Jenkins, who went 3 for 3 at the plate, picking up a pair of home runs and a triple. Nevada went on to the win 5-4. In Game 2, the Pack was led by pitcher Haley McLean, who had 8 strikeouts in 7 innings. Nevada won that game 4-2.
And the Reno Aces came up short against the Tacoma Rainiers last night, losing 5-1. Now, despite the loss, Reno's bullpen stayed efficient by having 5 clean innings pitched. Jordan Lawler, who was responsible for the Aces' only run scored, went 1 for 4 at the plate, picking up an RBI double in the 5th inning. The two teams will face off again tonight at Greater Nevada Field. First pitch scheduled for 6:05 p.m.
And the weather might be going their way. We'll see.
I know.
We should check in with meteorologist Angela Schilling.
Good morning.
A little more today. You said scattered showers overnight?
We could see a stray shower or two, not very many of them. And if you want to head out to the baseball game, more than likely it'll be dry, but it's going to be cold. So that's the thing. Just make sure you have your winter coat and blankets. That's the thing. It'll just be cold throughout the game, but at least I think it will be dry. But,
okay.
Yeah, it's going to take a while before we really start to warm up, but the timing of it is great, for the weekend.
Seriously, yet again, gorgeous weekend
right?
on tap.
A really nice weekend, and next week looks great as well.
Love
but
it.
Yeah, today overall not bad, but again, it's still going to be cold. Up at Lake Tahoe today, a high of only 41 degrees. Can't rule out an isolated shower, but again, not very many of them. Majority of the day will be dry there, and so overall not a bad ski day. On Friday, a high of 43 degrees, 50 on Saturday, 55 on Sunday, 51 on Monday. This is for Lake Tahoe. Good amount of sunshine too. Today we'll see see a decrease in cloud cover, a little more cloud cover on Monday as well. But overall, the forecast is pretty benign from here on out. As far as this morning, though, it is cold, 33 degrees. Watch out for a couple icy patches even around town. We saw a quick little burst of rain and snow in the valley around midnight, and so we could see a little bit of ice for the morning commute, but there's not a lot of it. 33 degrees is the current temperature out of the Reno Airport. It is a cold start. Most of us are in the 20s this morning, and some of us are even in the teens. 18 degrees right now in Eureka, 15 in Ely, 14 in South Tahoe. So a lot of cold air still in place. We have a pretty good dip in the jet stream here, which is kind of like a bowl, and then a ridge is like a hill. And so that's what we have off in the ocean. Once the low moves out of here, the ridge moves in, temperatures will be able to warm quite a bit. But we're going to have to hold tight. It's going to take a day or two before that happens. So for right now today, again, we have this dip in the jet stream, and that provides us with a lot of cold air for this time of year. Each day will march a little bit further to the east. By Friday, the ridge will be very close to us, and so tomorrow will be warmer than today. By this weekend, the ridge will be in full force, and highs will be in the lower 60s on Saturday and around 70 degrees by Sunday. So if you just hold tight, warmer air is moving in. And today we'll at least see some sunshine by the afternoon. So as we go through time today, again, majority of today will be dry, but every now and again can allow a stray shower to pop up. Again, just maybe one or two, but most of us will stay dry today. Overall, not a huge deal, and decreasing clouds as the day goes on. So not a completely dry forecast today, but it'll be even drier than yesterday, and yesterday we didn't see very much. Because of the cold air, I'm giving today a 6. Yesterday was a 5. I bumped it up to 6 today. Still be on the chilly side, and decreasing clouds throughout the day. So overall, not terrible. 40 degrees in Ely this afternoon, 39 in Austin, 52 in Hawthorne. So still below average today. Still be on the cool side. Still at least need a jacket. Overnight tonight, it will be cold once again, dropping down into the 20s. So the cold air continues. Lower 50s today in the Truckee Meadows. Overnight lows will drop below freezing. Lower 40s around Lake Tahoe. So cool day there. Not bad for skiing though. Just can't rule out a little pop-up shower that only lasts maybe 5 minutes, and that's it. 41 degrees up at Lake Tahoe. More sunshine as the day goes on. And in Reno today, high at 52. Partly cloudy skies, and it will be chilly today. Winds will be light as well. So again, not a horrible day. Just can't rule out a stray shower every now and again, maybe one or two today, and that's it. And they only last for 5 minutes. So not a big deal. And then on Friday, even more sunshine than today. This ridge will be over top of us here by the weekend. 62 degrees on Saturday, 70 even on Sunday, 64 on Monday with more clouds, but not bad. 70 Tuesday and 76 by Wednesday. So the extended forecast is looking very spring-like.
I think spring has finally arrived, Angela Schilling.
Right. Looking forward to it. Another nice long stretch of the mild weather.
I know. I was at Lake Tahoe yesterday. They got, at least South Lake Tahoe, got dumped on this latest storm.
Right. Yeah. A lot of our ski resorts got feet of snow.
Exactly. So I can see why our snowpack is up and over 100%.
Right. Yeah. Just in the nick of time too, because it's right around now where we usually reach our peak. So,
yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Well,
right
they
now
call
we're
it
in a
Miracle March for a reason, don't
Yep.
they? Thank you, Angela.